But the coin that I added to the portfolio today is called vEmpire.
And they are the largest decentralized metaverse investment organization in the world.
Hello, everybody, and what a lovely day it is. Let you kick off, and I'll do some button tapping in the background. You know what comes after Roby and Qcoin? When Binance. Cool. Have some green. Oh, definitely missed that. I think that VEMP is up about 30% today. Might even have to get it live onto Dex tools, see if we can get trending with our other guests who seem to be hogging all of the places on every single chain that there is. So when Binance, smart chain, that is, not the actual one. We've also got Jake, who I don't think he's been on our show before, but I've done an AMA with him. And we have Artorias from Cult DAO, who I'm sure everybody knows about because everybody talks about Cult. So to do it a little bit ourselves today, if we could bring our lovely guests out.
Here we go.
There we are. Damn, I was thinking in my heart, I wonder if we'll get a glimpse of Artorias, whether he'll accidentally leave something on, or should I say, brutes.
I'm self-conscious of how small my picture is in comparison to the everyone else's faces.
Yeah,
you can just turn your camera on then. Turn your camera on, and then it's all equal.
I'll deal with it.
Or we can get our back end. We can get Harvey on the tech to increase it. I think. Well, at the moment, for me, it's small, large, middle. Because for me, Jake, you're literally like this, but I can't because I'm too shiny.
Yeah, you are, but you missed the glimpse. I was just chatting backstage with Artorias. He had his camera on and everything like that. Good looking guy, man.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Appreciate that.
Yep, no problem.
But yeah, I think everyone's having a good day today, aren't they? In the market. God, it's nice to see it. Let's see where we are. I see Revolt has flipped into the freeze. You got Cult wanting to get into the twos. And we have VEMP itself actually flipped into the freeze.
Good day.
I know. Everyone's there, and now we're well on our way to 3.5. God, see, if you told me 6 months ago I'd be excited at getting from 2 cents to 3 cents, I would have told you, like, has the world ended? But God, it's that sort of time in the market now, isn't it? How's everything with you?
Say that again.
How's everything with you?
Everything's good, man. It's a little bit earlier over here in California. It's 9 a.m. So we got up early this morning, got a great workout in. I got my fake decaf coffee that we're drinking here, guys, because we're on 12 days of no caffeine. So I still love the taste of coffee. So it's a fake decaf coffee. Doesn't do the job, but we're having a good day, man. The crypto market's kind of pumping again. People are coming back onto crypto Twitter. People are coming back onto YouTube. And it's summertime over here in America. So life is good over here. I can't complain.
It's definitely summertime over here in the UK. We were above 40 degrees yesterday, centigrade. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. 130?
What? There's no way it's 130.
No.
130 is
like 100, 105, 107.
That's still hot.
Like that.
That's still like ridiculous.
Yeah, and I was on record for the UK, 40 Celsius Fahrenheit.
Don, we might have to link up. I'm getting ready to go on a Europe tour in September. So I'm going to Greece. I'm going to go hit like a couple different spots like Spain, Paris. But if I make it to the UK, we should grab a beer and catch up.
100%. Definitely, you got to come to London.
I need to.
Then again, bloody inflation, 9.4% we had CPI data. It's even more than you guys have got.
Yeah, we're 9.1.
Yeah, that's for you. And our pound is awful as well, going against the dollar. But we are here to talk about Cult. Why don't you give us an update from the horse's mouth, from your end, Artorias?
Oh, it's been a crazy I mean, the last 2 weeks since Revolt launch has just been absolutely bananas. Just the way that everything went off, it kind of, although it was kind of crazy behind the scenes, getting everything sorted before the pre-sale for Revolt and the airdrop and stuff, it was kind of crazy. But from the front, it appears like it went off without a hitch, which is as much as you can hope for. And yeah, there's something funny about when the word airdrop comes out. It's kind of brings out an interesting attributes in people. But yeah, the pre-sale went amazing. Revolt's doing some great business on the charts the last couple of days. We broke through that 3 for the first time early this morning. So yeah, life's good. Loads of stuff still in the pipeline as well. So yeah, watch this space.
Yeah, I was. I mean, people always say, don't they? Don't launch, and everyone's. I should know myself. Like all of the protocols I advise, pretty much all of them have pushed back their token launches. And US just went out there like 2 weeks ago, launched a token, and done 10x. Nuts.
Impressive.
Can't argue with that, can you? In the current market.
We'd like a bit better, we'd always like a bit better, but yeah, we're super happy. I mean, I think one of the most beautiful things about Cult and the Cult ecosystem is just like the community. So we kind of went in thinking, if the community picks this up the way that they've picked up Cult, then it's got to go quite well. And the community is so strong that we're really blessed, and yeah, everyone's taken to it like duck to water. So yeah, we're really thankful of everyone in the community.
You're Jake's king of the community tokens.
Yeah, man, I like them a lot. It's like, look, in this DeFi space, a token's only as strong as the community. And I think Doge was really the first one to prove that. Shiba Inu proved that. We saw Saitama prove that as well, and then we're seeing a lot of other tokens come out that are proving it. But it's like, it really is. You can have the best developer. I know developers that are so legit, and they have the best utilities. They have the best, go-to-market strategy. They have the best game plan, right? But they don't have the community behind them, and their token kind of suffers, right? So it's like, we're living in a game where you need all three. You need a solid developer. You need a good community. You need like either a strong mission or good utilities. But I think a community is a strong utility in itself.
100%. Something that we're working on at VEMP is community engagement. We just did a arena battle of voting challenges with all of our partners and everyone to get more engagement. I think we're definitely learning a lot from the Cult community, even though apparently I am Mr. O. All the time, but yeah, people always say that to me, and I see Cult going like up like 66,000% and going to like 77 million market cap, while VEMP's at like 5 million. I'm thinking, Christ, I mean, I wouldn't have much of an excuse for that, would I, if I was? But yeah, if you guys have got like a secret, actually, I was going to say, if you've got a secret CMO, send him over. But then Estefano, our CMO, was going to be sitting there like, please don't. But I mean, yeah, that is it. It's like, community marketing. You can't beat, I used to work in financial sales, and always the number one, way to qualify and get a sale was referral. And that is essentially community in crypto. It's the equivalent. You don't have the businesses out there, selling it as a service like you do with anything or any product. You have to rely on word of mouth sales, and word of mouth sales are always the strongest. And that's exactly what a community is, let alone one that has the first rule to actually talk about it. I mean, the simplicity. Is there going to be, it seems like an ecosystem doesn't tend to have two tokens. There's always seems to be, if you're going to have, no one just has one extra. I don't know, for some reason, maybe I'm just thinking of like a shib, bone, and leash. Is there a third? What are we going to see?
Come on, that's a loaded question if I ever heard one. That sounds like grabbing for alpha. But yeah, nothing to say about that at the moment. But one of the things I found is that the beauty of having the community behind you. What's good about Cult is that everyone shares the vision, and I think that's what holds people together, even when there's like downward price movement. Like we've suffered some terrible macro movements in the market. Like Bitcoin has been, in the time that Cult launched, it's seen, I think it touched 48k, and it's seen like 19k or whatever it was. I can't remember if it even went lower than that, but it doesn't really seem to have had a hugely negative effect on the community itself. Like obviously the token price has suffered, but the same that everything else has, because there's only so much you can do against Bitcoin and Ethereum. When those dump and the sentiment is bad, there's nothing you can do to protect yourself against that. But the fact that the community all have this belief in what Cult stands for keeps people together, and it makes it about more than just the token price.
Yeah, definitely see that as well. There's going to be an amount of speculation, and those who haven't actually read the materials or read the manifesto and don't actually know the true messaging and just think like it's a meme coin, or don't know the actual vision or the utility, and just want to speculate on it. But yeah, I mean, the more people care about the actual vision, the more the token can like hold the line, basically, because if you believe in something higher than just financial goals, then you're always going to care. I mean, we see that work well and work badly. Sometimes if that belief is held so steadfast, you don't want to be blinded. I mean, there's plenty of examples of when that does happen, where you just have too much blind faith. But that is always helped by the fact that everything is announced. There isn't the ownership. You can't print more tokens or anything like that, because it is fully decentralized. So the trust level is definitely important.
Yeah, I think it stems a lot from the mindset behind Bitcoin as well. You get these Bitcoin maxis that literally live and die by the token and aren't bothered about the price of that as well, because they believe in what Bitcoin is, which is pulling away from the current financial system. So I think a lot of that sentiment is shared by the Cult community as well.
Yeah, I can definitely see the Satoshi-ness, like Michael Saylor, but that guy's he's actually on the other end of the spectrum. He, for me, is one of those who's too far, just blindly follows. I mean, obviously, it's not like Satoshi's going to dump on people, but he just calls everything else a security and hates on other stuff, which I definitely don't agree with. But again, Stone Soup. Stone Soup. And the story of sharing. That's what it is. Everyone's sharing in everyone's success. And that is a way forward. Just seems to be a lot of animosity. And well, it's always been there in the crypto market, the toxicity. But yeah, very tribalistic it can get in the community token space in particular. I don't know how you handle it, Jake, because you must get, because obviously you talk about more than one project. You must get people who act like you need to have loyalty, and you can't talk about anything other than one token. You must come across that.
Yeah, it's definitely there. I mean, the way that I kind of run like my business and how I run my content is like I talk about whatever I want to talk about, right? Like yesterday, I made a cult video because I was like, I'm well overdue to make a cult video. You know, the community was super engaging, so I made a cult video. But I really just make content like about what I want to talk about. And of course, there's the thing with like being online and like, you know, having a brand and making content is like there's so many people out there, you know, that all have an opinion. So the best thing to do is like to not listen to anybody's opinions, you know. Obviously, like people that are close to you when they tell you like, hey, you're messing up or you're doing something wrong, but it's like the millions of people that are on crypto Twitter that have an opinion, it's like it doesn't really matter, you know. So I really like I try to make good content that is going to educate people, and hopefully my end goal is to bring them to good projects that they can make money on, right? But for the people that are, you know, cultish, if you will, quote unquote, it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to make content about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Colt, Saitama, Volt, like whatever I want to make content about, whatever's hot that day, whatever has news, right? And I think it's important to understand it's like there's so many people that have an opinion about you, and really it's like, do those opinions matter? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't get it as much, but I used to get so much. Well, it happens. It's a reason why we have bear markets and why they can be healthy for those of us who've been there a long time. Like you have it, literally the cycle repeats, and it frustrates me so much when it does. But you have some people buy in, like the original community buy in. There's people like in VEMP, you know, who were in at the pre-sale who are still there. In fact, a lot of the cult community who bought in the pre-sale, who are now guardians, like Jeff, who's a guardian, and Colton, both were in the pre-sale from when I shared cult literally before it launched. And there's definitely a couple of others that I can't think of, but yeah, Jeff and Colton who are guardians. But yeah, as I was saying, you have the pre-sale people who are still around from then you have the initial pump when people FOMO in, then you have the people who buy at the top, and then you get the euphoria, people buy in there, and then all the way down, and they absolutely hate your guts.
Yeah.
Literally like the worst sort of stuff, the worst sort of abuse. And then it starts again, and eventually those people who just didn't have the bollocks, they leave and they forget about you and they stop giving a shit. And then once again, you start up again and you start pumping, and then everybody buys green candles. You can see it, and I can see it in like VEMP's hold account. Today we're up, and no doubt I'll look tomorrow and it will be a massive increase in holders. And then obviously when it does dip, there won't be people buying that. Well, there will be, sensible people will buy that dip, but it won't be the same amount of holders that increase on a dip. People love buying green, even though you should buy red. People love to FOMO in, and then some of them just can't take it when you go down. That's the worst part.
Yeah, it's just psychology, and it's like I feel it in myself. Like I have to, like I've been investing long enough that when I want to invest, I usually take profits, and when I'm scared as shit, I usually have to just force myself to put some money in, and it's been working so far. But we all see that, right? Because when it's green, the market's pumping. You see the tweet saying Bitcoin's going to 60,000, then 80,000, then 100,000. You want to put money in, and then like, you know, when the market's red, like you saw with Voyager and Celsius and 3AC and all these companies, you know, and the market crashing, it's like you get fearful and you're like, should I put money in? Is it going to keep going down? Is this all going to zero? I just read an article on CNN. It's going to zero. It's going to zero. CNN said so, right? So you have to have reverse psychology. The game is so volatile that you have to have no emotions or pretty much be emotionless when investing. And to be honest, though, it's the most exciting game in the world, isn't it? Like, it's so fun. It really is.
Definitely. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. I still fall for it. I still, I guess, yeah, like you said, it is about being emotionless. For example, I don't want to get killed for this, but I don't trust this Bitcoin and ETH pump. And I didn't. In fact, I stabled up a few things probably 2 days ago, and obviously I didn't do the peak, did I? Because you know, everything is still rallying; it's gone higher. But again, does it hurt a bit that that I could have had like an extra like 10%, definitely. But you got to have commitment to direction, and it's better to lose out on not buying the bottom, not buying the top, selling the top. Better to miss 10-20% than try and time the top and miss out either on the top or either on the bottom. Definitely learned that. I'd rather stuff pump a bit higher, because if you're taking profits or anything, like, what's the worst? Like, I know you always think, don't you, like, oh, I took, like, people who bought Shiba and sold it for like 1,000% at the time, amazing 10x. Afterwards, depression because it's not 1,000. But yeah, that's just humans, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So what did you do this current cycle? You see, you don't trust the current Bitcoin and Ethereum. Are you talking about like the current rally that we're seeing here?
Yeah. I think that it's a bull trap, to be honest. I think it's there to get everybody back in, and then I think we're going to nuke. My personal view, but
Nuke
again,
down, correct? Nuke down.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, it's just about preparing, really. I mean, there's certain stuff that I will still hold and don't tether up, like Cult and Revolt deflationary tokens, and just strong communities where, yeah, sure, there might be some people who panic sell, but when you do have such a strong community, there's like almost like a bottom from that, because there's only so many people who will get scared, who don't believe. So yeah, I'm still bullish on Cult and Revolt, and of course VEMP is frustratingly, our assets are valued at like, I think the last time we valued all of our NFTs, and we've only bought more, is in Q4, end of Q4, January. And bear in mind, a lot of our stuff is NFTs, so it doesn't actually move about as much as the tokens. And I think that our asset value is like minimum right now 10 million, and our market cap is like 4. Our valuation is like the joke, but that is because one thing I always say is that it doesn't matter about, to investors it matters. Like, to me, I think we've got 10 million of assets, so our token value must be 10 million, but that counts for absolutely nothing, because it's humans who control price by buying and selling. And if humans panic, what can you do? I always say in property funds, when there's like COVID or Brexit, they gate to withdrawals and they stop people from taking their money out because the share price drops below the actual net asset value. So what do? They stop people from withdrawing because it's humans who've caused the value to drop. The properties haven't, been destroyed or crumbled to the ground just because of Brexit. But humans control the share price. So if the humans want to sell, the value drops, even though the properties haven't changed whatsoever. That's the same situation with them, because we have a TVL which is over our market cap. We've got assets which are double, triple our market cap, but it's humans who control the price. So eventually, you'd hope that some of the traditional, ways that the actual market values stuff, bricks and mortar, net asset value, EBITDA, earnings before income and tax deductible. All of these old things from my old jobs will come in. But again, what I said, bears are good because it flushes out all of the speculators and all of the people who just aren't sensible, and who don't look at real things and just buy tops and sell bottoms. But yeah, there we are. I'm conscious that I've been going on talking about finance and my background, Artorias, and leaving you in the lurch. I'm interested in, how did you get into Cult? Because you were like I guess you were the first, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story, and yeah, it's been a bit of a wild ride. But so all the other guardians like yourself, you were messaged by Mr. O on Twitter, right? And it was literally the same thing, but just a few weeks earlier. So, so obviously he knows who I am because he messaged me on my real self, and was just like, I've got this plan, I've got this manifesto and tokenomics, and basically just said to me, what do you think? And I saw it and I thought, this is absolutely nuts. Like when I read the manifesto, I was a little bit skeptical, honestly, because it was like so dark, and I wondered whether it was like kind of too preachy almost. But then I realised that it had lots of different facets to it that would be relatable to a lot of different people. And then when I saw the tokenomics, I thought, I've not actually seen anything that works like this before, and I've got nothing really to lose by diving in and giving it a go and joining, except time. And when the market was on its way down, sometimes you just got to take a risk on something, just like you do if you're investing in something. You just got to give it a go. And yeah, it didn't obviously take off straight away. It was kind of had a bit of a pump after the pre-sale, and then it always felt like it was sort of petering away for a while, and then out of nowhere it just blew up. And yeah, it's been absolutely crazy since then. Not enough hours in the day anymore.
I can imagine, especially dealing with a bloody airdrop. God, some people, like I saw that all over. It's crazy. Like I say, again, with good reason for a bear market. You got to flush out, like, just the absolute. What's the word I'm looking for? Entitlement of some people. Like, you're handing out free money to people that they didn't have to do anything except hold a token to get. And they just like call you a scammer like for not doing it. It's crazy to see. God, I have to say, no wonder they don't do them, because I remember my first purchase of crypto was XRP. I remember holding it they did an airdrop. Uniswap was an airdrop. Another token that I hold, Stake DAO, was an airdrop. Another one I hold, Blackball, was an airdrop. They used to be literally the done thing. That's how you launched a token. You didn't have seed, private, all of this. All of the old DeFi tokens were all airdrops. And yeah, I can see why that got left in the past, because Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they were kind of. I think it was like they were purely done as a way just to generate usage of your platform before you had a token. And yeah, they're definitely. Honestly, I think they're probably more trouble than they're worth. Like the entitlement of people that drop something.
I did, yeah, but don't worry about it. It was just a very noisy bottle.
It's like one of the things that I find astounding is the amount of people that they deliberately bought Colt for the airdrop, and the value went down because obviously we're in that bear market, and a lot of stuff's happened since mid-May, and these people that bought delivery for the airdrop and held only so they could get the airdrop, their value of their Colt went down by half, yet they were so desperately entitled for this airdrop that was probably worth like $10, yet they're furious that they didn't qualify because they didn't follow the rules. And then you get the people after it that's saying, what's the point in buying this token if everyone got it airdropped? And I was just there was a guy on Discord that messaged about it today. He's like, so this token's basically just an airdrop token, isn't it? And I said, well, first off, do you know how much of the supply was airdrops? Do you know what the average amount of the airdrop price was? And do you know how charts work? How do you think we went from 3 million market cap to what's now 18 million market cap if it was an airdrop only and people weren't buying the token? Just
people don't have any idea, do they?
No.
I'm conscious we haven't actually said or asked you to our VEMP audience, who I'm sure a lot of them will know Cult. But for those who may not, do you want to actually explain sort of the high level of the protocol, what it does, and any potential upcoming proposals or anything like that, and obviously Revolt now as well. Crikey, it's going to be a long answer.
Yeah, I'll try and keep it brief. The Cult ecosystem is actually it's a very simple it's actually a very simple process, but it's just like it's kind of caked in this whole ethos that makes it sound more complicated than it is. So on a high level, it is an investment DAO. So you have so all the people that stake Cult, they get given decult, and the top 50 stakers, so the 50 people with the most amount of decult, are guardians. And what the guardians can do is make a proposal to the DAO for investment of a total of 15.5 Ethereum worth of Cult from our treasury, which is built up from a 0.4% tax. And then the proposals are designed to be for projects that are trying to push decentralization and like Web3 stuff and noble causes. And then when that proposal is put through, everyone else outside the top 50 who are staking Cult can then vote on it. So the 50 people that have the most amount of decult, they can't actually vote. They can only make the proposal. So what that does is that tips the scales of voting weight towards the people that are not, the big 50 whales. So when that proposal is voted on, it either gets rejected, in which case nothing happens, or it gets approved, and then 2.5 Ethereum worth of Cult is burned instantly, and that's sent directly out from the smart contract. And then 13 Ethereum worth of Cult is sent to the destination wallet of the successful proposee. And that's also done automated, so there's no actual developer involvement in the system at all. It all happens through the voting. So the smart contract is so simple. It's literally, if you vote yes on this proposal, it will send this Cult here. And that's literally the extent of it. It's then when those proposals are carried out and the projects are invested in and then they grow, what they then do is they redistribute the profits back and they buy Cult on the market with whatever means they were invested in. So if it's a token, like for instance, we bought some Bitcoin through a proposal, which was then sold later on at a profit. 50% gets burned instantly, and 50% gets sent to stakers as rewards. So not only are people voting on these proposals, they're receiving profits that come back from these successful proposals as well. So it's like a self-sufficient ecosystem that's also burning a lot of Cult at the same time. And even if proposals aren't successful and profits don't come back, each proposal that goes through, there's still 2.5 Ethereum worth of Cult that's burning. So worst case scenario, there are no profits, but you're still deflating the token by participating in the ecosystem. So it's a really special setup.
Yeah, funny enough, actually, for anyone who hasn't watched it, I did a video with a company called machinations.io. They did they're basically a game economy simulator. So how I met them was getting them to through the BGA, which is Blockchain Game Alliance, and I got them to simulate the card game economy for vEmpire at the beginning, which is a trading card game that we have that you can use VEMP for. And they did 300,000 games and like, I always forget, I think it was 300,000 games and 3 million cards played to make sure that the balance was right. So after they simulated that economy, I thought, well, the tokenomics of Cult work in that hyper deflationary way. And so let's see if we plug in that information into a Monte Carlo simulation, which is basically just forward guidance based on past data. And yeah, the results were very good. So that is in the vEmpire YouTube channel. I think just type in Cult DAO tokenomics vEmpire, it will come up. I think, funnily enough, I think that the market cap in 1 year, even if every single proposal failed, so nobody returned any money, and it was just all just the burns from the 2.5 ETH, it was still at $1 billion, like or more. But obviously that is just based on past performance, and it was just a one simulation. You'd have to do lots and lots, you know, basically just making this compliant here. Not financial advice. I'll
take that.
Yeah. Well, who wouldn't? That's everyone's dream. Funnily enough, I think in terms of getting to that point, the reason why it was so quick is because any drop in value of Cult against ETH was more burns. So, but you guys are outperforming ETH. So where you burn more supply, if you drop against ETH, you guys have been doing better. So your better performance is obviously increasing volume, but yeah, you guys have been outperforming massively. But on the other hand, just for the Cult community who aren't familiar with VEMP, excuse me for shilling, but my show, my rules. Yeah, so VEMP, we are metaverse and gaming staking platform. We are effectively a layer 2 solution, just like Polygon is on ETH. We work the same way, but we build around and facilitate the staking of metaverse tokens onto our platform. We'll pay a yield in our token VEMP. I think Jake's got an explainer video on his channel as well, for those of you who want to check it out. But essentially, we send yield in our token VEMP to stakers, but unlike some of these other Ponzi's, our inflation schedule is over 21 years, which means that the inflation isn't like hundreds of percent like some of these DeFi protocols. It's in fact, it's double figures and in the much lower end of double figures and dropping into the single figures very, very quickly. So Mana, Sand, ETH, BNB, soon Solana, you can stake onto the platform. We pay a yield in VEMP, and then we use the token stake to buy metaverse and gaming assets. We then use our scholars to play the game, or we buy and sell lands, develop them, flip them sometimes, and then we redistribute the profit back in the token staked. So for our ETH strategy, for example, we own like top 250 Bored Ape Kennel Club. I think we have 85 sandbox estates, like 5 3x3s, a 6x6. You can see some of our builds on the channel. But essentially, the great thing of our platform is that everything is kept within it, and you've got the chance to exponentially grow your yield, because if you stake ETH or Ape, like Jake's got in our pool, onto the platform, the VEMP yield, you can then stake that into our DAO, which pays you a further yield of 15%. So you're earning interest on your interest. The secondary yield, if it's paid in ETH, you can then restake and you earn both ETH interest and VEMP interest on your interest. You can then stake that interest back into it. So everything is like a exponential compounding of profits. So everything, the only time the cycle is broken is if you sell the returns, which some people will do. But if you keep on just staking, you're earning yield on yield on yield on yield in a non-inflationary, in a extremely less inflationary way than you would do with any other sort of DeFi protocol. So website is for the staking platform is app.v-empire.io. And you can play our game, in fact, play.v-empire.io. So yeah, there's my little shill over. I will mention we're on KuCoin Wobi as well, though, if you want to check it out. and BSC Andy. There we go. Cool. I really fit a lot into that. Excuse me for those. I think we must have about 1,700 comments already that have come through. So the first and most recent one is apparently I'm on Colombian marching powder. Fair enough. Maybe I've just had too much. Actually, I am. I'm on coke right now.
What type of coke?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Just not the legal kind. So
I like the comments. Artorias, most sexy dev, and Mr. O. That's a nice comment.
I have seen that a lot.
Fair enough. If they mean that, obviously, the rumors are that I'm Mr. O. So also thank you very much. You must have been about me as well. Must have been. There we go. We got interest. So you mean you get interest on your interest? I've got to answer them all. I'm not just coming back to the VEMP ones, I promise. Yes. So when you stake the metaverse tokens, the yield that you get paid as the primary yield is in VEMP. That VEMP that you earn as a yield, say you earn 20% in a year, you can stake that 20% into our DAO, which earns 15% a year. So then with the metaverse yield, for example, if you've staked mana, you get paid out mana. So that mana, let's say it's 8%, you can get paid that 8% back into the pool to earn VEMP on your mana, plus more mana on your mana. The VEMP that you earn, you can then stake into our DAO to earn more VEMP on your VEMP. And then the profits from that, you can restake those, etc. So everything is just yield on yield eventually. The only time the chain is broken is when you sell. Does Artorias get to vote on proposals? Do you, Artorias?
I've got I think I've got 50 million cult staked, which is nothing. And I don't think I've ever voted on a proposal. I tend not to, just because I don't have enough time to be able to read through them all. So I feel like it'd be better for me to sort of sit on the sidelines as well. So even if I did vote, I wouldn't carry much weight at all.
Fair enough. We got B Roots in the comments. He's adamant that he is Colt's most sexy guy. Hashtag titty twerks.
You see his Revolt all-time high dance video today?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you gotta watch it. It was my first thing I saw on Twitter today was B Roots dancing. I don't even know if we call it dancing, B Roots. It was more just shaking. It was titty twerking. It was just the tits twerking for about a minute and a half. But he's happy. Revolt's up. I think everybody's happy that owns Revolt. But it was a funny video. You got to check it out.
Fair enough. That explains the hashtag.
Hashtag titty twerks.
Fair enough. I saw that Cult and Revolt were trending, so maybe we can get that hashtag trending next.
You don't like titty twerks?
No, we can get that one trending next.
Oh, get titty twerks trending now. I don't know. I think we gotta let there just should be one hashtag a day. It's just B Roots, the new dance video.
Fair enough. Here we are. Let's
There you go. You've got one here. Jake is so handsome. There you go. That's what it says.
What does it
Jake
say?
is so handsome.
Thank you so much. What does it say?
Jake, Yeah, someone says Jake is so handsome.
Oh, I'm so handsome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I got to compete with
that's what
Artorias. I saw him backstage. He's a good looking guy, so I had to wear my best shirt. And obviously, we got Dom here. He's over here. Look at Dom, looking like a stud over there. So
No, I'm saying, where's the love for me? It's because I've been shilling all the time. That's why.
no, the love was coming.
I'm in trouble. I promise. I did also talk about coal.
Rule number 1.
Exactly. What's the most important proposal that Colt has passed?
Good question.
That's tricky because there's been so many different ones. One of the ones, just because it's quite close to my height, is there was a donation to the Unminding project, which is like it's basically a mental health. It's like a mental health podcast where they provide completely free support for people that are struggling with mental health and issues like that. And I feel like, for the sake of 13E from our treasury, that's an absolutely fantastic cause to support.
Definitely. I think I followed somebody from that. Can't remember the name, but I definitely.
They do Twitter Spaces quite a lot, and yeah, they just talk about all sorts of stuff, and they ask people questions. They let people just vent and stuff. The two ladies that run it, Moles and Jen, they're called.
Oh, I think Mole followed me. Maybe the other one did as well. Yeah, I mean, definitely that's the best part of cult, is that you, as much as you want people to invest into sort of stuff that is for profit, in order to sort of get those burned back. Like the simulation that I ran with Machination showed, it's not the be all and end all. Obviously, it will speed it up, but you don't have to be in a rush. You can basically essentially support whatever you like. And I mean, especially once the supply goes down to a certain amount, you can just be literally like a charity, but one that isn't full of nonsense like the rest of them, like the WEF or whoever. Actually do some good, because I swear to God, like every charity just seems to be very corrupt. Like when you see about UNICEF in like Haiti or whatever, you wonder where all the money goes, don't you? Like, honestly, surely it's just been siphoned off by government officials. Then again, I don't want to jump down into politics too much. Thank you. There we go. Tariki Terajim. Hey Dom, you're handsome too. Thank you very much.
There you go.
There we are. I used to be called. The reason why the podcast is called what it is I was the light bulb, which is evident today with the way how shiny it's very hot here in the UK. But I was the bald CEO was the nickname, which I got from our Chinese community, and hence the podcast is now called that.
I like that, and that's a good question there too. I think a lot of people understand Colt from bear market 2022, but even for me, like, I'm newer to Revolt. It's a newer token. It's 2 weeks old. Artorias, maybe you can explain that, like how Revolt works with Colt, and just like a high-level overview of what Revolt is.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to think about Revolt is, whereas Colt is like the proposal system on an investing into a project or a protocol kind of level, Revolt is investing in on a more individual scale. So the idea behind it is that a lot of people in the community, they put a lot of time into pushing Colt and talking about Colt. And obviously, people don't have all the time in the world. People have to work for a living. And the idea behind Revolt is that, why not create a token that we can use to reward people that are putting their valuable time and effort into helping the cause? And even not just strictly Colt, but like general decentralization stuff as well. And the way it works is very slightly different, in that rather than it being based on the top 50 people staking being guardians, you have these cult manders, which are made up of 500 people, and 480 of those are picked completely randomly every 15 days. So it uses the chain link VRF function, which is like a way of, because naturally smart contracts can't do randomness because it's code, it's like ones and zeros. So we have that incorporated into the smart contract, which allows it to pick completely randomly 480 people, plus there are 20 NFTs that grant you infinite access as a cult mandate if you own them. So overall, you have 500 people. You've got one of those, haven't you, Dom? You bought the very first one, I think.
I did, Invictus, but at the time, that utility was added with Revolt. I think at the time I bought it, it was just a cool looking mask.
Yeah. So the idea is people submit their acts of revolt of what they're doing. So it could be simple things like chucking stickers up in places with QR codes or whatever, or it could be, on a bigger scale, like going around graffitiing cult and revolt over buildings or in public places. And there are different levels of investment, 6 levels of investment size, going from 0.2 or 0.25, I can't remember exactly, up to 1.5 ETH. So what people can do is they can submit their act, and then those 500 people will vote yes or no on it as well. So, and if it gets passed, that person gets 40% of the reward. You've got 25% that goes back to all the stakers, and you got 25% that goes to a burn wallet, which keeps up the deflationary methods like we have in Cult. And then you get 5% bonus to people that voted, so the cult manders, and that's split equally to make sure that when people are cult manders, they are actively participating. Otherwise, they don't get that extra bonus. And then lastly, 5% buys cult and burns it. So not only does Revolt reward in the Revolt token, but it also rewards people that own cult by helping to deflate that token even more. So yeah, it's a similar system, but also has quite a bit more complexity to it in the way it works.
Fair enough.
Very cool.
Very cool, indeed. I presume, and somebody asked this question, but it's sort of been answered already, or at least the answer that I would have thought about is somebody said, and it's like Cult, I think the same answer there. Don't people sell it when they get it? But as somebody commented back, who was it? Who was it commented back? I think it was, Doggo Matt commented back to the Bear Market 2022 Survivor, who said, but if Revolt funds, if Revolt funds the people need to sell Revolt for USD, so surely that causes sell pressure. But what Doggo Matt said, which is true, is if somebody cares enough about Cult to actively be going out on the street stickering, or actively like talking about it on social media, or doing anything else that they're doing as sort of Revolt to earn, then they're probably going to be fairly into Cult and the Cult ecosystem. So I doubt that they are selling much. I could be wrong, obviously, but
what makes more sense to me is that these people would, when people receive these rewards, unless, because so say you're going out and you're buying stickers, right? That doesn't bear a huge cost in like a dollar value, but only in time. And if you're getting paid some Revolt for stickering, you're probably not going to need to sell all of that to be able to, compensate yourself. More likely that these people are going to take that and they're going to want to stake that, which then helps bring Revolt out of general circulation, meaning they also, not only does it help push the value and the buy pressure for what's left in QuickSwap or exchanges, but it also means that when they're staking more, they're increasing their share of the pool and getting more staking rewards as well. So why, if you want to, sure, people can sell, but for instance, if they do that, the maximum amount they'll get, you get 1.5 ETH, so you're getting 40% of that. So you're talking at the moment probably like what, $800. That's not a lot in sell pressure, where you could restake that, and then for all the other proposals going through, you're then earning even more passive income from that. So there's sort of counters for each way of thinking. So yeah, there will be some people that sell it, but there will be other people that want to be involved in the ecosystem and, you know, help make more passive income by compounding their rewards.
I can see. I just went onto the staking platform, and the yield is 12.74%. So yeah, I guess another chance to get a little mention in, but you can do the exact same thing with Revolt that you can do with VEMP. You earn your yield, and then you can restake it and earn interest on your interest. So those who are receiving those rewards, they can not just earn staking rewards, they get sent the Revolt for doing the act. So I guess that's like a separate personal yield for actually putting in effort. They can then stake that, and then they'll earn the standard APR that everyone gets as well for future events from other people. So again, it's a slightly more, well, if you take out the personal part, it's the exact same thing of earning rewards, restaking those rewards, and earning rewards on the rewards. But I guess if you're also, that's like the passive element, I guess, where you don't need to be, actually, going out there and revolting. But for those who do want to earn more, I guess there'll be a way of quantifying that. But effectively, you can earn not just the 12.74% there, but you'll also get the 40% of whatever you're doing on top. So I guess it's rewarding those who want to put in over and above. And if you do just want to own Revolt, then you can earn it passively. But I guess the incentive is there for those who want to do more.
Yeah, and the good thing about being on Polygon is that the fees are super cheap. So it literally costs, like, whereas with Colt, you're probably on, if it's a bad day for gas, you're probably paying more in gas than you are getting in rewards to restake. But on Polygon, you can quite easily claim your rewards and restake them for less than a cent. So for me, that seems like a no-brainer. But then, the other thing to bear in mind is that 12% APR, that's 12% in tokens that you're getting now at a point where the token is relatively low value. What you might be getting in rewards now, if you think about what those will be in a year's time, it could be a lot more. It could be a lot more money that you've made from that. But then you don't know for sure. But that's one way that I think about it as well.
Well, if you look at, I'm just pulling out now. If you Colt market cap is at 77 at the moment, Revolt at 18. So what's that? Colt is 4 times size of Revolt still. So, and obviously, I don't know what Colt's all-time high was, but it was significantly higher. You'd expect that they both move up in line. I don't think it's crazy to expect that at some point fairly soon, as long as the market stays up and Colt keeps going up, that there's no reason why Revolt shouldn't follow and make up some ground. You'd hope so, and you'd think so. It's a similar concept. Obviously, Colt's a bit further along the line. It's got a few more holders, but I don't see that gap staying for too long, in my personal non-financial advice opinion.
Good save.
Thank you very much.
I would agree too. What is the high of Colt, like, roughly? Was it a 200 million, 250 or more?
Let's
I
see.
think it was around 250, 300.
That's
I
insane.
think the fully diluted, I think, was 330.
Wow.
Yeah. So the highest it got was so the same amount of zeros as it has now, but at 7.8. So what's that? Like like 4 times what it is now, and now it's 77. So yeah, almost 300.
Impressive.
Yeah, 308. 308 million.
There's stuff that's gone like what was the all-time high of Saitama, Jake?
I think it was like 6 or 7 billion. Like it went insane.
Yeah, I see zero reason why Colt can't do as well as that. I think it will do well. Obviously, I've done simulations that tell me it, but I don't see why it can't get to at least SHIB level. But I'd expect it to do Saitama at the minimum, to be honest. But then again, Saitama had such a crazy amount of supply that it made it almost seem I don't know, it always seemed cheap because it had like, you bought it in like quadrillions, I swear.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that impact that has apart from psychology, but I don't see why Colt can't at least match that, especially when we get back to a bull run, like what it's doing at the moment. Because yeah, obviously, you know, the Bitcoin and ETH are rallying at present, so it's easy to just say, oh, well, everything's going up, but it was going up before. And compared to ETH, it was doing incredibly. So yeah, definitely hats off to the community who you know, the CMOs, the and the team and everything. Let's see. I always say this every single end of every single episode is. Oh, here we are. B-Root says 50 billion market cap minimum.
He's been saying it. He's been saying it. This guy is he's probably one of the most bullish people on Colt. And he's been saying it since early April. Like I remember at the Bitcoin conference, he's like, yo, and what was the price back then? He was like, I'm going all in on Colt. That was 3 months ago. That was after the first run up. It kind of dipped back down a little bit and then he went all in. But yeah, he's been saying 50 billion for Colt. Do you think that's possible, Dom?
The Monte Carlo simulations that we did certainly do.
Wow.
And I certainly think it is. It's you can't argue with maths at the end of the day. As in, like, you can say like you know, I think it will do this, I think it will do that, because it's so strong, because of the community, because it's got hype, etc. But you cannot, like, maths is a inevitability. You cannot argue it, you can't disagree with it. And if you do the maths and you calculate the amount burn and what everything has to do to get there, then, you know, it's not a case of if. For me, it's just a case of when. I'm super bullish.
I like that.
I think that's good enough. A good way to end, to be honest. Apologies for anyone's question that I am missing. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on, Jake. Obviously, guys, if you're not already subscribed to Jake's channel, make sure you check it out. Artorias, thanks for joining us. And yeah, thanks to everyone for talking about Colt. Make sure you subscribe to vEmpire. We do talk about Colt too much for our holders' liking. I always get told off for it. But I'm a stickler for rules. What can I say?
I like that. And thanks for having me on, Artorias. Great to connect again. We got to do this again soon, man. I'd love to talk about Colt a little bit more on my live stream. So maybe we'll set something up and introduce my audience a little bit more. I'm starting to make more videos there. The question they always have is, Jake, it's too late. Look at the green candles. And I'm like, guys, we're in a bear market. You haven't seen anything yet. So that's my job, is to bring good projects, legit projects to my subscribers. So I think the best way to do it is to hear it from what do they say, the horse's mouth? Straight from the source. So maybe we set up a stream here pretty soon on my channel and get Dom and maybe even B-Roots on there to do a titty dance when Colt hits all-time high.
I've got to watch that video. That's what I'm going to do after this.
You got to watch that, bro. It's going to make you laugh.
Nice one. Thanks, everyone. And yeah, thanks to the audience. Make sure you subscribe below. See you later, everyone.
Peace.
Thank you.